It looks like our players are ready, and here we go with our second quarterfinal game, or our upper bracket quarter X finals. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but this is their first game. On your left, we have the Korean streamer DDOLDDOLDDOLE. He's playing the Gallons division, the German infantry troop. And Cheru from Australia. On your right in blue is playing the Simmons division, the US infantry division here. So we have two infantries going up against each other.
Yeah, now there are some subtle differences. For instance, Cheru is going to be playing the U.S. infantry, and so somewhat surprisingly, the U.S. infantry get the most powerful bomber in the game, and that is going to be the Flying Fortress as their big one. That's also one that you can use for kind of that cheesy strategy we saw on day number 1 if you build up a bunch of them. But for the most part, we should see the early game look pretty similar, although I will say that the addition of the German bazooka infantry might actually kind of tip the scales.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Right now, DDOLDDOLDDOLE, we'll just call him Dol. We have Dol on the red, already producing 5 troop trucks just straight away, whereas Cheru only produced 3, and he's opting to add that troop backup with Sherman tanks as well here.
Yeah, this is really weird. So most of the time, you leave the troop trucks in your base, and it creates this gradual wave that pushes out onto the map and builds this up. But when you send them out onto the map, this is a very, very fast early rush, and I'm really excited to see what impact this has, because he's reinforcing it with a bunch of these cheap Jeeps. Rhymes unintentionally, but the idea is you have a bunch of very fast, very strong units that are weak individually but strong in these high numbers.
All right, well, we have Dol already producing 2 bomb troop trucks here. So now Cheru having those infantry troop trucks in the middle, like Rapid said, if they get destroyed, that's going to be, causing Cheru a lot of money. So he has to defend that. He wants that early advantage in lane. So we'll see if Cheru will be able to do so, or if Dol will break through with this artillery tank that he has on top of this hill.
Well, Dol was actually able to get a big advantage there because there were 3 Jeeps that just stopped short of dealing damage to those artillery. And I think one of the big things that we're seeing here is that these Panzerschrecks, or big bazooka troops from the German infantry, are actually really powerful and something that you should not take lightly. I think Cheru's strategy of using all of these infantry trucks is starting to stall out.
All right, well, at least for now, we have Cheru kind of pushing all the way in front of the hill of Dol's base. But Dol, he's just sending the bazookas out onto the lane. He's focusing on this high terrain where, unfortunately in game 1, Rena's high terrain on her base was taken over by her opponent. But this time around, Dol, he doesn't want to make the same mistake that MC Rena did. He is focusing a little bit more on taking and making sure that high terrain on his side of base is safe.
Now let's see who's going to be the first to pick up this crate. It is going to be the motorcycle sidecar coming in from Dol to get that extra money. So that's going to be really helpful when you're going for an early game rush strategy. But he's transitioning, okay? So he had the early rush that's given him this big buildup in the middle of the map. Now that might die off to some artillery fire, but he's transitioning, so he's getting some artillery. He's getting some of these bigger high-tech units that might help him out a little bit more.
All right, well, Dol definitely has control over this high ground. And if you notice, Cheru's 3 infantry troop trucks have blown up. So now Dol, still having 7 infantry trucks and 2 bazooka trucks in his base, have been producing massive amounts of units. You can tell by the numbers at your bottom left and your bottom right here. Cheru is in trouble now.
Yeah, this is a very difficult situation to be in, but it's not insurmountable. So one way to come back from this is to either build up a lot of troop trucks in your base and just little by little you start to even out the waves. One other thing that you can do is try to focus on the Air Force, and so you're going to see a lot of emphasis in the air here for Cheru to try to win back things from the air, because there's no anti-air from Dol.
All right, well, Dol right now, there we go. Right next to his artillery, he had that supply, and he gets that extra money. We don't see neither of the players kind of leaking or wasting money here, so everybody is well spent here, producing units nonstop, especially on the side of Cheru. He has to still be defending because Dol is still pressuring him right in front of his base.
Yeah, it's very, very close. Now, we haven't seen too much damage to towers. Cheru has a little bit of chip damage done to that, but it's not really a big deal.
Yep.
The bigger deal is if you just look at the total amount of infantry that's out there on the map, it's just massive. As far as Dold's advantage here. So he's got a bunch of those Panzerschrecks or bazookas out here, and the infantry advantage is just kind of growing a little bit insanely if you just look at how many troops are starting to build up.
All right, well, right now Cheru is in trouble. He's doing whatever he can. You can see the money on the side of Cheru. He's spending every last dollar to try to push Dole away, whereas Dole is saving money for a big unit. So $28 unit maybe. He might go for a base artillery, nuke rather. We'll see what Dole decides to do. There we go. Okay, so he does produce one of the expensive aircrafts on his side.
Yeah, that's right. So it's not really a super, I guess, common to see the high-level aircraft, at least from the German army. But hey, he's got one, and he's going to be sending that out there. So let's see exactly how he wants to use that. You can see him drawing those lines to say, look, go bomb here.
Exactly, but look at all these artilleries. So Dole right now, he has sent up, I think, 2 artilleries and 3 heavy tanks to back it up, and it's just gonna pressure him from the front. 100 infantry units. All right, so this is the first time for me after casting NA and today to see 3-digit infantry foot soldiers on the map.
Yeah, just a crazy advantage here. Building it up, and it's clear that Dold's strategy of keeping these waves just building up over time is really going to hit here. He's just going to mow down this base instantaneously and punch his ticket to the semifinals.
Wow.